So I had a chance to play Dragon Ball FighterZ in the closed beta this past weekend, and I wanted to give my first impressions, my thoughts on the game, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, I played the closed beta, which is not the full game or anywhere close to being the full game. The full game will be out early 2018. This was just the closed beta to allow some people to play the game and to see if there were any errors, whether it be online errors or glitches, and just kind of give everybody a chance to kind of check the game out. So I wanted to give my first impressions, but I want everybody to understand that, well, two things. Number one, I was having some problems with my capture card, so I was unfortunately unable to capture any footage of the game, so I apologize for that. But there are tons of channels online you can see footage of this game, so I'm sure you can find footage of the game anywhere, really. I'm just going to talk about the game and tell you guys my thoughts. Yeah, I fixed the problem with the capture card, so next time there's a beta, you'll definitely get footage. And the second thing is that it is a beta, so what I'm going to tell you is, mostly having to do with stuff that may not even be something that's a problem or an issue or something that's even relevant when the final game comes out. This is just a beta. Now, with the FighterZ beta, and by the way, I played on PS4, not on Xbox, so I was able to play online 3-on-3 matches. When the final game comes out, you can do single matches as far as I know, but it was just online 3-on-3. They gave you a handful of characters to try, and they let you go out there and, basically just try the game out. Now, one thing I want to say about the game is that initially, I was always excited for this game. I've kind of always wanted a game like this. The ones that have come close, I would say, are probably Super Sonic Warriors, Super Dragon Ball Z on PS2, which I think Super Dragon Ball Z is a criminally underrated game. I know a lot of people have fond memories of Budokai Tenkaichi, the regular Budokai series, and those are great games, but I think so many fans sleep on Super Dragon Ball Z. I love Super Dragon Ball Z. And then the other one is, of course, the fan-made Hyper Dragon Ball Z, which, is a fan-made game by FighterZ, and it was really the first true attempt of doing like a Capcom-esque fighting game with Dragon Ball characters, at least with that kind of 2D look. And this game pretty much does that, but they've got Arc System Works working on the game. So, unfortunately, FighterZ doesn't have the funds nor the programmers to complete Hyper Dragon Ball Z, so we're going to get this instead. I do kind of feel bad for FighterZ because I feel like he might be overshadowed by this game, but the reality is, this was a really fun game. This Dragon Ball game was really fun. I saw a lot of people saying that Dragon Ball Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2 is much more of a Dragon Ball simulator, in that those games kind of captured the feel of a Dragon Ball fight. And I can't disagree with that. However, the thing about FighterZ is that even though FighterZ is on the surface a fighting game with Dragon Ball characters, not a Dragon Ball fighting game, a fighting game with Dragon Ball characters, it really does feel like an Arc System Works / Capcom 2.5D fighter. It still feels like Dragon Ball. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. The game feels like Dragon Ball. It really captures the essence of Dragon Ball, and even though it doesn't have like an open world and kind of the 3D sort of thing that Xenoverse has, the actual combat does feel like fast-paced Dragon Ball combat, and they did so many things right with this, and it's just the beta version. I can tell you that me as a Dragon Ball fan for over 20 years, who's seen the series and read the manga I don't even know how many times, there's so much love that was put into Dragon Ball FighterZ, way more than I originally thought. And I had heard about it before I got to play the game, but when I picked the game up, I really felt just how much effort Bandai Namco and Arc System Works put into this freaking game. There are so many homages when it comes to the moves of the characters. Like, every character's moves aren't just moves. There are so many homages to legendary manga panels, scenes from the anime, and even movies that every time I saw them, I was just in awe and had a big smile on my face. Like, if you've seen Dragon Ball a lot, like if you've watched it several times, there are certain moments that stick in your head and that you always remember. And the development team behind this game has done such an amazing job of capturing that. Now, obviously, the hyper moves in the game, obviously you've got, moves that are going to be big in Dragon Ball, that like big moves. you knew they were going to get those right. Like, of course, we have, Gohan doing the father-son Kamehameha. We have Frieza doing the big death ball. Goku, SS3 Kamehameha. Just a lot of, good stuff like that we kind of expected. But it's the little things. It's the little things that really made me smile. For example, with Frieza, if you pick Frieza, first of all, the voice acting is great. At least from what I heard. The voice acting is amazing. There was only a Japanese track, but I do know that for certain, 100% guaranteed, the English track will be on the English release, featuring all your favorite Funimation voice actors. They'll all be in there. But when it comes to the Japanese track, it sounded great. But what I was going to get to was, like, it's the little things. Like, for example, if you've watched Dragon Ball, you know how Frieza has, the energy cutters, like his version of Krillin's move. But in this game, they actually fly in and fly back around, which I thought was a great touch, just like in the anime. And then also, he picks up rocks and throws them at you. And the way it looks is right out of the manga. My absolute favorite Easter egg, and my favorite, is there's two. One is that Frieza can actually do the same exact pose that he did when he killed Krillin on Namek, where he picks you up with his telekinetic powers. He picks you up, and then he closes his fist, like he closes his hand, and then, Krillin blew up, Goku, and he blew up, like in the anime and the manga. But in this version, Frieza even has, like, one of his eyes more closed than the other, just like in the manga. I thought that was such an amazing touch, and he has the same smile. Also, if you remember, I think it was Dragon Ball Z episode 98 or 99, Goku and Frieza are doing like Goku does the Kamehameha, and Frieza is in his 100% buff form, and he does like the double like punches where he has his fists out, and they're clashing. Then Frieza, of course, would go around Goku and knock him down. That moves in the game, where Frieza buffs up to 100% and does the double punches. Little things like that, like they really, really did their homework. They really read the manga. Another Easter egg that I loved is you have Trunks, one of his combos. Not only does he do the slice up and then the hand move he used to kill Frieza on Earth, but he also does the thing where he uses the sword to slice you and then does the same exact pose from the Super Android 13 movie where he kills, I think it was 14 or 15, and he does that same pose. That's in the game, dude. Like, little things like that totally went a long way with me. Everything. You have Majin Buu's big explosion move. You have Cell's big explosion move. 16, I thought, was incredible when it came to his moves. Accuracy as far as the Dragon Ball series goes is a plus here. This is like the Dragon Ball anime come to life. You know what I mean? Or not literally life, but it's like your favorite cartoon is not playable. That's pretty much what it is now, folks. Your favorite anime, whatever. Some of the issues I had with the game as far as anything bad was there were a few glitches here and there. Obviously, I want to play with a lot of characters. The thing about this game is if you're experienced in Arc System Works or any of these kind of fighting games, you know that there is a learning curve here. You're not just going to pick up this game and do, 35 hit combos the first time you play. Not going to happen. You have to learn how to do the combos. You have to train. You have to practice. And more importantly, you have to learn how the characters work together and which fighters fit your playstyle. It's an actual freaking fighting game, the kind you see at EVO. So this is not going to be one of those games where people are going to just, do Xenoverse type combos with two buttons. It's just not going to happen like that. However, they are, from what I understand, going to make it a little bit easier for the casual fans. There are automatic combos, and I know some people did not like, but I'm pretty sure in the final game you can disable them if you want. There are ways to make the game easier, but when you first pick it up, if you first play this game and you're confused about how to play and why you're losing, that's just how it is. You have to just learn how to play those mechanics, and it's good though. The thing is, it's got a learning curve, but it's a fun learning curve. I had fun playing the game, even when I was losing. I had fun playing the game, because you're always getting better. You're always getting better at these games. But one of the things that I thought needed to be fixed is I felt that Android 18's move where she basically does the move that essentially killed Gohan in the Trunks special, where she jumps up and shoots that beam down. Very, very hard to block. Not impossible, very hard to block. Same thing with Majin Buu's explosion move. I got caught with that like 4, 5, 6 times when I played the game, because you can open up a combo and then hit the move, and there's very little delay time to block. And I had the back button pushed a couple of times, but it doesn't matter. And I hope that when the final game comes out, they kind of fix that and they kind of tone that down, because there's just not enough time to react. There just isn't. At least that's me. Maybe I just have to pick up, maybe it could just be me, but I noticed that was kind of annoying about the game. And the backgrounds, I think, look great. I think the cutscenes, I think, are amazing, at least the ones that we got. There's obviously going to be an actual story mode in the final game. That was good. And it's one of those things where one thing I can definitely see frustrating some players is that if you go into online competition, you're going to be playing a lot of really good players. They're going to whoop your ass. I mean, they're going to kill you before you even have a chance to blink. So I do wonder if, like, newer fans or casual fans or non-fighter Dragon Ball fans, I just wonder if they're going to have the patience to sit there and learn. Because remember, there's a lot of different characters, a lot of different play styles, a lot of different techniques, and I just wonder, if they'll be able to take that time. But overall, I had a lot of fun playing this game. This is a much more advanced fighting game than Xenoverse could ever be. In many ways, it's pretty much even more advanced than Burst Limit, and I love that game. It is, without question, an Arc System Works game, but it's not. I found this one a little bit easier to get into, but I also feel like it could be because of my connection with Dragon Ball. So that could also be the case. Anyways, if you played the closed beta, leave me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And I look forward to the next beta, which I think is going to be in January. And we're going to get many more features, and they're going to clean up some things. So we'll see how it goes. But hey, thank you for checking out my thoughts. Let me know yours down below. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day.